You.
Okay. Well, first off, I just appreciate the opportunity. And to give you a quick synopsis of who we are, back in 2017, Victory Hill Church purchased the old West Elementary building. At that point, they set Connexion West up as a separate nonprofit 501c3 here in the west side of Lancaster. Original goal is just, hey, help serve this community. And over time, I'd probably say within the last 6 months, we've realized that what takes place here on the west side of Lancaster is very similar to our entire region, from Circleville, Chillicothe, Logan, Newark. So we have some big plans and some big dreams. So this past year with COVID, we've actually grown. So we started out in 2019 of November at 13 programs. As of Monday of next week, we will be at 56 programs. So we run everything from a food pantry inside of our facility to a Saturday outreach, just a community-based program just to provide a free hot breakfast meal during some hours that are sort of open for some homeless and where there's a need at. That's sort of grown just where we've met a lot of people in our community. We also house the after-school program administration office here at our facility, as well as Sozo Pediatrics, and they are growing as well. So coming up in 2021, they will no longer be just pediatrics, they will be for the entire family. Then our newest tenant is the Bottoms Up Diaper Drive. They are moving and their administration offices as well. Then we have the reporting center through juvenile courts. Then we have several youth-based programs from our mentoring academy to some financial peace classes. Then we have adult classes, everything from parenting all the way down to just your financial stuff for your household as well. So we are probably a two-pronged focus, and we believe we want to set up for generational change as well as like today's immediate needs. So we actually have two different directors. We have an outreach director that focuses on today's needs. That's the popular stuff that you'll see out there on our social media account, from the Farmers to Families food drives. We had over $100,000 worth of food that came in through that mission, and we were able to push that out in under 3 hours each week at our facility. So that was a very substantial grant. We had Operation Warm, so we had roughly 1,000 coats that come through our facility. That was pretty big as well. So that stuff has really pushed our mission out there. But we're a firm believer if all we're doing is just meeting today's needs and we're not following that up with anything, we're probably just enabling rather than helping. So that's where our programs come in. And we have a program director, and those programs, like I mentioned earlier, will be at 57. So it's pretty amazing what we see here in our community. To give you a little background, for those programs, we need a large space. So everything that you're going to be seeing in the background, and I'll try to move my camera around as well, you guys will be able to see that's all been taking place since COVID in March. So we've been able to come in here, do a lot of renovations, painting, really get our facility ready. Strong believer that, hey, whenever the toughest times, that's whenever we really got to buckle down and make sure that we're continuing to grow. So that way, if it's the economy's in a tough situation or if what's what we're dealing with here at COVID, the best companies and the best organizations thrive whenever it's most difficult. And that's what we've really tried to relay to our team. And at this point, I think they've succeeded pretty well. Currently, we're standing in our banquet room. So we had laid this out where it seats about 75 people in here comfortably. We have round tables set up. It's been vacant. There was a couple times over the summer months where we had a couple nonprofits use this facility just for their board meetings. When everybody was sort of getting zoomed out, they would be able to mask up, maintain social distancing, use this entire complex. What we're hoping is graduation parties, some birthday parties, or some business events, just some partnerships here in the community, we'll be able to use this facility. And then this space actually leads over into our cafe area. One of our dreams is to really do a youth-based Friday night outreach. So we think whenever we get past COVID, because of the size of our facility, we can do a youth program here and probably attract between 200 to 300 kids, focusing on high school age. And the background for me, you'll see our cafe. We're still renovating this. So where that Christmas tree is in the background, you'll see where we're actually going to be adding in a cafe counter space. And this entire wood floor that's behind me, we're actually going to be enclosing that in a glass wall. What our hope is to make sure we have a true cafe space to where 16 to 18-year-old kids come here, feel just like a young adult without mom and dad hanging over their shoulders, and just learn to be an adult. This also gives us the foundation for our internship program. We're new. We can't afford an endless staff. So what we did is we created a very in-depth internship program. We have roughly 20 internship positions available, and we currently have 7 that are finishing out this quarter. That ranges everything from general maintenance all the way down to custodian, and then back up to our, for our cafe and the culinary arts program. We have business marketing, and then we actually have a couple people that will shadow me as well that, hey, this is what they want to do. We've worked with Ohio University and their social services program, Cedarville University, and Lancaster High School. So if we're going to have a couple hundred kids here, you know, that's a nice dream, but what are you going to do to attract them? Because we all know you have to have something at your facility. So what we're doing is, you can see our gymnasium behind us. We're actually getting ready to come in here and epoxy this floor and then turn this into a skate rink. So if you look, you can probably barely see them. We already have the lights, the strobe lights hung throughout the facility, the fog machines, and different decor items in here. But we're going to turn this into a skate rink. We think we'll be at the forefront of it, try to attract some kids in here, and go from there. Then outside, we're actually going to be doing a lot of renovations this summer, from our playground, remodeling that, trying to make it more handicap accessible, as well as building a shelter house in there. Then we're going to do a floating wood deck and some outdoor movie nights for the entire family. So it's some big dreams, some big plans, but we think we can pull it off this summer. And everything that you were seeing, like I said, has been completely remodeled. This was an old elementary school. So hallways are no longer hallways. We've widened them up a little bit. We've laid carpet. We've added furniture, accent walls throughout the entire facility, anything to try to make the atmosphere very inviting for the kids that come through these doors, as well as anybody else. From murals painted to the wall to some weird paneling, anything just to try to bring some life to the facility. One of our favorite ones is probably this Do Good Things mural that got some pretty good attraction on social media. And that's another thing. We have grown from about 27 followers back in November of 2019 to where we're over 1,000. And we actually have about 27,000 interactions a week on our social media page. That has all been college students and interns. They've literally taken this, grabbed it by the horns, and they're doing whatever they can with it. Extremely, extremely proud of them. But the bottom line is how we're able to afford the outreaches and everything else that we hold here. We sublease our building. So we have Hoagland School of Learning, which is an autistic-based school, K through 12, and they rent 50% of our building from us. I mentioned earlier Sozo Pediatrics, the after-school program, the food pantry. Those are all paying tenants as well. So that's really what allows us to do what we do and be present in the community. We are working with the city of Logan currently. Logan has fallen in love with what we've been able to do here in Lancaster. So our business plan called for 3 to 5 years to have a second facility. We'll probably have that second facility within 2 years. So it's pretty exciting and trying to continue to just push some growth forward. That's a quick rundown of who we are, what we have here. Every classroom has been remodeled throughout the entire facility, from conference rooms to United Way's tax clinic, integrated services with their parenting classes or teen daughters classes. So if anybody has a heartbeat or a passion for something that they really want to see in our community, we really recommend them to come talk to us, because I'm a firm believer that that passion is what's going to be the fuel to really drive that forward. One individual can't do that. Our staff can't do that. But we've actually got enough experience where we believe we can help facilitate those needs. So that wraps up sort of my presentation. Any Q&A that you guys may have?
I have a list. So
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else out there has any questions, but I had a list before we started. The classes that you talked about, those are open to anyone, and where are those advertised?
Yes, so most of our stuff is through social media right now.
Okay.
We are currently redoing our website, so we'll have links for any of our signups, from Financial Peace, our Mentoring Academy, And then if it's ran by another program, we just push them to the signups for those programs. So like United Way's tax clinics coming up, integrated services with their parenting class or teen girl class. We'll just push those to, hey, which organization is running that? And they're just using our facility.
Okay. So people can people call you and then you give them that information too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our office number is 740-201-2778.
Okay. You mentioned renting the facility for parties. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, so we have that banquet room in the cafe area, and then we also have our gymnasium, and we actually acquired 10 different large inflatables. So that way, whenever we do community outreaches, partnerships, we would have our own inflatables that we could bring into those different events, but then we could also rent them out here. We just felt like that was an investment, obviously not for today, but hey, you know, a year, 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So the banquet room rents out at $100 for 4 hours. And then our cafe space is 100 as well. And then there's some bulk packaging if they want to have the gymnasium and the inflatables included in that. But obviously, right now, the rentals are shut down until we can get to a more stable environment.
I'm thinking about next year for graduation, not this, the next.
Absolutely. Okay.
I need a spot. So that was the first thing I thought of.
Okay.
The internship. So you mentioned you get those from the kids from the high school and from OU. Do you have openings that are not from those schools? Like if we had someone through the board of DD who was looking and interested in a specific kind of position, how would that be a possibility?
Absolutely. My background was a lot of HR. So internship programs, hey, that's my forte, can really build those from the ground up. So whenever you don't have a staff, you know, the easiest, quickest way is, hey, let's get some experience for these kids, individuals, and go from there. So our internship program is really based off of the age of 13 to 22, but we could structure that differently. And then we've also had a couple churches with like their youth groups want to start having kids send over for internship. My big thing is if we don't have an internship program or a position specific for that, hey, let's meet, discuss it, and we can really build that from the ground up and make sure that I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and we're making all the marks across this. That's actually how we got into OU, as it's like, hey, what are your social services requirements? And let's go from there. Cedarville University, they actually reached out to us just from where they had a couple kids going to their university that had heard about us and wanted to do an internship program. And then obviously Lancaster's right here in our backyard. So, but yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I see in the chat too. Oh, can you give us your address of where you're located?
Yes, we're at 625 Garfield Avenue here in Lancaster, Ohio, and it used to be the old West Elementary across from the Anchor Hocking plant.
Someone else said, you mentioned a plan for a second facility. What is your timeline and where are you looking? This would be awesome for Pickerington. I think you said Logan.
Yeah, we are actually looking at Logan. It's off of 595 and 33. It's an old elementary school down there as well. We're blessed with a blueprint that works. So we're really trying to take that for a large facility, go after that, and then where we can do the subleasing. Pickerington, we're actually already in. So our mentoring academy is in Lancaster High School as well as Pickerington Ridgeville Junior High. And we've had roughly about 1,500 kids go through that program between our in-house mentoring through the reporting center of the juvenile courts, as well as Lancaster Junior Highs and then Pickerington. And then I met with the Logan High School superintendent and the mayor, Greg Fraunfelder, about a month ago to looking to get this mentoring program go ahead down into Logan as well. So.
Awesome. Does anybody else, those are my questions. Does anybody else want to add anything or ask? I feel like we blew through that pretty quick, but that's a lot of good stuff. Oh, I see another one. Wow, this is so impressive. Will he have bullet points of the things that you mentioned today? There are others on our staff who might be interested, and I'd love to send them info on what was covered. I'm recording this today, so I will also be putting the link from today on our YouTube channel, and then I can send it to you as well, so you can send that information out.
Okay.
Could he repeat his phone number again, please?
I lost your face. Are you still there?
Oh,
There you go.
yeah. Can you see me now? Okay, I apologize. Yeah, my phone number for the office is 740-201-2778. And then my cell phone number as well is 740-404-3541.
I have one more question in there. How many people does the banquet room hold?
Our banquet room holds 70 currently. And then our fire code, we can get 100 in there, but we try to make sure there's plenty of space. Everybody can seat comfortably.
Okay. Let's see. Any mentoring for adults or seniors available, or is it all younger people?
We actually have a meeting for an adult tutoring program and mentoring taking on later this week. So stay tuned. We're hoping that will really come to fruition. And that would be Jenna Devereaux, our program director. And you can reach Jenna at the office number as well.
I don't see any other in the chat. You guys can unmute yourself and ask also if you have anything. Nobody?
Okay.
This is a lot. I've just filled up a page and a half of information, so I appreciate it a lot. You're going to be hearing from me again.
Okay.
Hopefully other people as well. Let's see. Nope.
Hey, Rachel.
Yeah.
This is Karen. This is a great program, and you'll probably be hearing from me as well, Mr. Cook.
Okay. So that sounds great to me.
All right. Awesome. Well, if no one else has any other questions, again, the recording from today will be on Facebook, and then I will email it to you also if you want to send it out to anyone. And yeah, you'll definitely be hearing from me again soon. I have a lot of ideas going through my head. Maybe it's the coffee, but I feel like it's you. So that's awesome.
Okay. Hey, that's what we're here for. So I like to hear that.